Hi everyone, Amy here with our Monday assignment. Before we get into it though, I want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. So next week, we're going to be working with our friendship paragraph that we wrote last week. Lots of folks still need to turn that in. So if you have not yet written and turned in your friendship paragraph from last week, you need to do that ASAP. Remember, it is not a big, huge, hard assignment. I didn't give a bunch of like rules and you didn't have to do any research. You didn't have to read a story before you could write it. It's just your opinion and your ideas. There's no right or wrong answer. All I want from you is the best paragraph you can write. Next week, we're going to be working with that paragraph. So if you have not written that paragraph yet and turned it in, then you need to do that so that you can do the work for next week. All right, moving on to today. So today we're going to be reviewing action verbs and we're going to be identifying the complete subject and the complete predicate in simple sentences. This stuff is probably review. Even if you don't remember it, that's okay. That's why we're reviewing it. If you do remember how to do this stuff and what all this means, then today's going to be easy peasy. And if you don't, like I said, it's okay. That's why we're reviewing it. All right, so blue boxes are to-do boxes. And the first thing is to watch this video, which you are already doing. So good start. All right, green boxes are the big idea. This is where the stuff that we're learning is found. So what's the big idea? What are we learning today? Verbs and semicolons. So first, verbs. Verbs come in two forms. We have action verbs and we have verbs of being. Today, we're only talking about action verbs. So if you don't know what a verb of being is, or a helping verb, or an auxiliary verb, or a linking verb, right? You might have heard all those other terms. Who cares? We don't need them today. Put that out of your mind. It's just action verbs. All right, so action verbs are words that show action. If someone or something can do it, it's an action verb. All right, so here are some examples. And I listed just a bajillion random examples. Walk, sit, think, daydream, fly, crash, learn, forget, compare, contrast, unite, separate, capture, free, succeed, fail, live, die, create, destroy, love, hate, grow, shrink, commiserate, celebrate, right? So all of these, there's so many linking verbs, you could never make a complete list. Well, I mean, I guess you could if you started at A in the dictionary, right, and worked your way through, but nobody wants to do that. All right, so some of these words, just a heads up, they're verbs, but they could also be used as other things too. So like here, we can look at fly. Like fly is certainly an action verb. Someone or something can do this. An airplane can fly. A bird can fly, right? But this could be, depending upon how it's used in the sentence, it could be a noun, like, don't eat that piece of cake, there was a fly on it, right? A bug. So you have to just kind of take it in context and how it's used in the sentence. All right, but action verbs show action. There's countless others, and some of them can be used as other parts of speech, which I just talked about, but today we're just going to consider their verb form. When trying to identify an action verb, ask yourself the question, can someone or something do this? If the answer is yes, then it's an action verb. So let's kind of look at these words here. The blue box, to-do box, this is where our work is. Green box is for learning, blue box is for practicing. All right, so the directions here say, highlight each of the following words that can be used as an action verb. All right, so some of these words can be an action verb and some of these words cannot. So you would look at this and say, chocolate. Can I think of any instance where chocolate is something that someone can do? Can someone chocolate? Can something chocolate? Is this something you can do? If it is, then you should highlight it. If you're not sure how to highlight, I can walk you through that real quickly here. So if you go up to your little menu at the top, let's say I decided chocolate was indeed something that someone can do. So I just click and drag, right, and get it so temporarily highlighted. And then I can go up to this little paintbrush thing. I guess it's a highlighter. Makes more sense than a paintbrush. And click it, and I have lots of options for colors. I just chose blue because it was the same color as the box, and it got, to me, that was nice rather than having 1,000 different colors. If you want 1,000 different colors, that's fine too. All right, so I decided that chocolate is. Now you may decide chocolate is not an action verb, in which case you would not highlight it, right? So then do that with each of these words. Smile, is that something that someone can do? Can someone love? Can someone beautiful? Can someone or something notebook? Right? You go through all of these. Highlight the ones that are action verbs. The second part of our work today deals with subjects and predicates in simple sentences. So the next big idea is about that. So a sentence is, of course, a group of words that communicates a complete idea. All sentences must have a subject and a predicate. If you are missing a subject or a predicate, then you have a sentence fragment, not a sentence. All right, but what is this subject and predicate that every sentence must have? Well, a subject is always a verb. Nope, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. A predicate is always a verb. Let me say that again since I said it wrong once. A predicate is always a verb, and a verb is always a predicate. If there's a verb in your sentence, it is a predicate. A verb doesn't do anything else. It's always a predicate. A subject is always a noun or a pronoun. Now today we're just looking at nouns. We'll get into pronouns another day, very soon. But today we're just going to look at nouns. So what you're looking for in your sentences are the verbs, which are predicates, and the nouns, which are subjects. All right. A subject tells who is doing the action. A subject tells who is doing the action. A predicate tells us what that action is. All right. Subject, who's doing it? Predicate, what are they doing? So let's put subjects in yellow and predicates in pink just for our practice. So if we had the sentence, dogs bark, that is a complete sentence. It's a super short little sentence, but it is a sentence. We would have who's doing the action here? The dogs, right? So that's our subject. That's yellow. What are the dogs doing is our predicate. Well, they're barking. So that's in pink. All right. And we have that with Jake ran. Who or what is doing the action? That's our subject. Jake is doing the action. What is Jake doing? That's our predicate. He ran. Jake ran. Subject, predicate. Doesn't have to be a person, right? It can be a what. So rivers flow. Who or what is doing the action here? Rivers are doing something. Well, what are those rivers doing? They're flowing, so flow is the predicate. All right, most sentences are longer than just 2 words, of course. All the words that go with the subject are part of the complete subject, and all the words that go with the predicate are part of the complete predicate. So if you look here, remember we had dogs bark? Well, what if that was a longer sentence? And we had Wayne's dogs bark all day. We still have dogs bark. We still know that dogs is the subject, bark is the predicate. But here we've got more than just dogs bark. So if we come up to here again, and all the words that go with the subject are part of the complete subject, what goes with the subject dogs? Like whose dogs they are, or maybe what the dogs look like, or something like that. Here, or where the dogs are, maybe that's something. We know they're Wayne's dogs. So Wayne's dogs is our complete subject. And we know that bark is our predicate, but if we're looking for the complete predicate, bark all day. All the words, so it's that verb and all the words that go with it that kind of complete the thought. Bark all day. So complete subject, Wayne's dogs, complete predicate, bark all day. You can see that we did the same thing with Jake ran. We still have Jake as the subject, ran as the predicate, but now we have a bigger sentence. So we have a bigger complete subject and predicate. My friend Jake is now the subject, that's the who. And what did my friend Jake do? Well, he ran a mile in 5 minutes. Complete predicate. Same with with rivers flow. We still have rivers as the subject, flow as the predicate, but we have a longer sentence now. So all the words that go with rivers is our complete subject. All rivers is the subject. And what do all rivers do? They flow because of gravity. So when you're identifying complete subject and complete predicate, you will have the whole sentence identified. When you're identifying complete subject and predicate, every bit of the sentence will be either part of the complete subject or part of the complete predicate. Notice down here, I don't have any words that aren't highlighted as either subject or predicate. All right, blue box is to do. This is our practice. So your job today is to identify the complete subject and the complete predicate in the sentences below. There are 5 of them. So you are going to highlight your complete subject in yellow and your complete predicate in pink. All right. So when you're done, the entire sentence will be highlighted. Part of it in yellow, part of it in pink. This is going to tell me which part you think is the subject and which part you think is the predicate. And that's it. That's all your work for today. Not too bad. Highlight the words that could be action verbs. Identify complete subject and complete predicate. And turn this in. Let me know if you have questions or concerns, and have an amazing day.